Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Always good to see a good friend here inside of the UDL. Back again as he sits right over his right shoulder is, of course, his son, Derek Stingley Jr. in his jersey. We got the 24/7 coming. 247,
all day.
24/7 all day. We got that 7 coming.
Except it's closed 24/7.
He looks
ain't nobody open.
He looks phenomenal in the 7. Obviously, LSU showing him off since that photo shoot has been done. A lot has changed since that photo shoot has taken place, right? When that photo shoot went down, that was pre-July 1st in college athletics. Now we sit in a world where student athletes can capitalize off of their name, image, and likeness. Nobody has been a better example of that early on in the process than Derek Stingley Jr. His father, Derek Stingley Sr., is back on set with us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. It's great to see you, sir. Happy summertime to you.
I know, man. Good to be back.
Yes. Elite Football Academy as well, as they've got great things happening over there. Jacob Hester coming back with his 2nd annual camp that we will give you some information on Elite Football Academy. I guess we would just start there. How has this been? The last time we talked to you was routinely in the spring session.
Yeah.
When they were working out and just kind of getting your idea on getting geared up for his junior season. How much were you gearing up for name, image, and likeness? I guess we didn't ask you as much during the process, but how much were you getting prepared for what you're living right now?
You know, it was tough to try to get prepared for it because we just knew there was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of what ifs. We didn't know that. You know, they set dates before, and then those dates went by, nothing happened. But when this one became concrete, naturally it was more so later in the spring, and it was kind of hard to truly get a game plan because even leading up to the July 1st date, we still kind of didn't know some of the details on how all this would really go. So, you know, everyone was kind of moving, you know, well, for us, we were moving slower with it. I know we announced it something that day of, but you know now we're looking at deals and we're kind of taking our time on it, opposed to just saturating his brand with a lot of different things.
How much do you feel you know at this point? I mean, obviously much more than you did on July 1st, but how much is still unknown to you?
Well, I mean, we know a whole lot more now. We know how we're going to navigate through this. But then all these deals are only just for his collegiate season. So with Derek, naturally, if things goes according to plan, you know, he'll be in the NFL. So if he does deals, it can only go up until his college career. And I think that's how the NIL is built anyway. Right. So we have this short window to work with him, opposed to if this would have been his freshman year, now we can really have a game plan because we would know by then we would have at least 2 more years left in this NIL deal. So,
how many parents have reached out to you asking for advice? I saw Kayvon Thibodeau yesterday signed a deal with Nike, and a lot of people have Thibodeau and Stingley at top of the pre-draft charts next year at 1 and 2. You could flip-flop them.
Yeah. I've had a few, and it was just more so conversations like, you know, how did you guys get that deal that was shown, or, you know, what are you guys trying to do moving forward with deals? Well, Derek, he's different right now than most student athletes. You know, he's going to get a lot of requests,
more attention.
Some national brands as well that we're kind of just sifting through and making sure that, you know, like I said before, we just don't want to oversaturate his brand with a lot of different ads and things like that. And then what these kids really have to understand is once they do take on whatever sponsorship that is, they have to understand what they're getting themselves into, because although this is a whole new world and it's the wild, wild west. Say for instance, if I'm just talking, if McDonald's want to do a sponsorship with one of those kids, and then they agree to it because it's like, oh, I can put this out on social media real quick, and look, I'm important. But now McDonald's is going to want their services. Now we're talking, you're in middle of fall camp, you got possibly regular season, you get 1 day off, but McDonald's wants you to be at their restaurant from X amount of time to whatever. You're tired. You know, so it's going to weigh on those boys to where they got to figure out, and young ladies, because it's for every college athlete, they have to figure out how they're going to work their time especially when school is really up and running and they're playing whatever sport that they're playing, and that these businesses are going to want their service that they paid you for.
What is your biggest concern for your son in this? Is it getting paid?
No.
Is that a problem? I mean, because I hear a lot of people like making sure they get their money.
Yeah. Well, no, we're dealing with some reputable people to where we're not concerned with payment, you know, that kind of thing. My thing is just making sure he understands that all money ain't good money. You know, we got to make sure that, you know, we're choosing the right thing for his image and brand naturally. And then I always tell him, hey man, you know, next year this time it's going to be on a national level. A lot of these deals are local, semi-nationally as well, but not as like just all of them. Like just here they come from the national brands, just knocking down the doors. We got a lot of local businesses that's interested, of course, and what name, image, and likeness is really for, and what some of these kids got to think. It's some money involved, but it's not going to be like, you know, the $400,000 by the end of the year type money. This is money that's going to help them if they, you know, after their scholarship check, whatever that is at the first of the month, and if they exhausted that through whatever they do, entertainment, food, gas, now they're just going to have extra money to probably hang out, buy something that they like, pair of shoes, food. So I'm saying if these kids can make $500 to $1,000 extra dollars, in my opinion, that's what name, image, and likeness is about. Yeah. Just to help them get by to where, you know, remember back in the day, I forget that it was the NCAA tournament, the one basketball player, he mentioned something about, man, I just made the game-winning shot,
it was,
but I go home and I'm hungry.
Kimba?
No, it was Shaz. Shaz Napier.
Yeah.
And he was like, everybody's cheering and everybody's happy, and little do everybody know
and
I'm
that guy
starving.
pulled the mic out of his face real quick because it got real.
Exactly. So that's, in my opinion, what name, image, and likeness is for, to where now you won't have to go back to your dorm room hungry. You may have a few extra dollars in your pocket to get you a number one from a fast food restaurant or something similar to that.
Walk-ons.
Yeah. But, you know, but for some people like Derek and maybe some of the top 10 players going into this upcoming draft, you're probably going to make some real good money.
How does the walk-ons deal work? What is expected of Derek in return for his what's his service?
If you notice his caption, he said, can't wait to show you guys what I have cooking with walk-on. Nice. So that means that, you know, we have some stuff going on, but, you know, we haven't really finished out all the details on what he's going to have to do and what walk-ons want him to do. But it's a partnership. Just put it that way. It's a real good partnership.
Match Point has gotten a lot of attention over the last 2 weeks.
Is great.
Match Point has a lot of local blood behind it when you talk about guys like Henry Hayes and even Mackenzie Landry, who's Brandon's wife, is a part of the board. Brian Oliver. Can you talk about your experience with Match Point, your point of view of Match Point, and kind of how it works?
I'm pretty close to that group. I love the whole idea of it all. How you're kind of taking the middleman out of it. It's just the day and age that we're living in. We're living in you know, apps and things like that, to where to where now you can be laying in your bed as a student athlete late at night and say, man, let me see who I'm matching up with today for whatever services they're looking for, because I want to make an extra few dollars, and then boom, you know, 2 o'clock in the morning, you match with 4 different brands as a talent. So now that brand has an opportunity to say, yes, we want you as a talent. They'll tell you how much you're making. You know, when it's all said and done, you go do your job. Your money is deposited into your account. Yeah. Just that simple and easy. So it's just like anything else, how, like, I want to say, like,
it's a dating app, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a dating app. I was going to say more so like how Uber took over and Airbnb took over, to where now it's like those marketing agents, they got some competition, and this is huge.
Chili Vic asked the question inside of the bunker, and a lot of people are curious on it. How is LSU worked with you, and how has LSU prepared your son for this moment?
We've been talking with the the powers that be over there, just giving us some heads up, when all this was really going down, what to look forward to, what they've been getting from a national point of view, the rules behind it, the laws behind it. We just recently had a Zoom conversation with compliance, the parents, for all the parents that was concerned with their questions, and they answered everyone. I don't think that at one point they said anything like, "Oh, I don't know about that," or "We got to wait and see." So, I think now everybody's kind of getting a better understanding with what the rules truly are. Now, there's some things that, we're like, okay, can you do this? Can you not do this?
Yeah.
Like, case in point, if you want to possibly sign with a marketing agent, some marketing firms give some players advances. We're still trying to figure out if that's something that can be done or not.
Coach Lee Steinberg is one of the famous
One of my good
agents. Yeah, one of the most famous agents in the world. At times, I believe he had Warren Moon, Dan Marino, and Troy Aikman all on his client list, and now he's got Kyler Murray is one of his guys. He signed Spencer Rattler last week to a deal that a part of his department, a part of his agency, is dealing with NIL. How is that legal? Is he now
because it's on the marketing side? See,
Okay,
and that's the thing. There's this little gray line.
It's a loophole.
Yeah. So you got the sports agent and the marketing agent. They can all be in-house in the same building. Lee Steinberger, he can be over both, but he can only give advice and deals for the marketing side. Now, that's why I say that line is gray.
Yeah.
It's blurred, so to speak, because that could still be his way of recruiting him to say,
Sure.
"Hey, man, when all this is said and done, when you turn pro, we would love to represent you on the contract side of things, the football contract." So a lot of that is going on, and these are some options that we're exploring as well. So we're trying to figure out if this is exactly what we're going to do when it comes to this whole marketing thing as well.
So you're thinking of that?
I have some conversations with a few firms.
Yeah. Would it surprise you if Rattler went anywhere else but Steinberg for his representation when next year came? Doesn't that give them a very much
I think it gives them an
advantage?
Yeah, without a doubt, because now they're working together now.
Sure.
So
you're
now
building the relationship,
right? And then not only that, a business relationship too, because.
Yeah.
Heck, what if he gets him these big national deals and he put a lot of money in his pocket to the point where he's like, you know what, I really love what you just did for me. I think that we need to keep this thing going on while I'm a professional as well.
If I'm Adidas, I'm calling the most recognizable faces on Nike teams. I'm calling your son, and I'm asking him how I go into business with him. How do you handle that if Adidas CEO, they may be trying to get in touch with you asking for Derek's services when he is playing for a Nike school?
You can still do Adidas, you could do Jordan brand, you can do all the other brands outside of Nike. You just can't wear that on the game field with your uniform.
On LSU time.
Right. But as your own personal use, your own social media use outside of football, you can promote it, you can wear it, you can talk about it as much as you want. It's just that you can't wear Adidas cleats. You can't wear Adidas towel, anything.
Yeah.
Right, because LSU is a Nike school, so it's you can do those things. We've been in talks with a few brands as well.
Football still top priority.
Oh, without a doubt.
Right. Is that a concern for you at all?
No.
I don't think with him, because he loves it so much. But do you think that this could become an issue with NIL?
I've always said that I thought that it would become an issue at some point with maybe some kids with not good people within their circle.
A good protector.
Exactly, because I think it could possibly get out of control to the point where the kid is more concerned and worried about his deals, its money. Because, you get that in NFL with, once you're making that kind of money where you're playing, but you're a pro. You have a little more time on your hands. You're getting paid to play, and now you're getting deals as well. But when you're a college student, it's about naturally going to school. It's being a college student. It's playing. It's practicing. It's tutoring, it's all those things. And then now you're making deals and you're worrying about your money. So now, what if you get to the point where you're making so much money to where now you start slacking off on some of the things that's more important on the reason why you're there, and then you're slacking off. But the reason why you're getting those sponsorships is because you're probably popular, right? You're one of those guys. So now you're losing out because, you know, who's telling you right from wrong? And what if, I'm just putting out a scenario out there. What if a player is like, hey, I'm making, I don't know, $500,000 and his coach is screaming at him. His coach can be an assistant coach that's making $60,000, $70,000. He's looking at him like, what do you get paid for the day? Here, I'll give you this. Just be quiet for a second. It may bring out attitudes and craziness like that. It could very well. And I'm not saying that that it could be. But it's like, what if?
Possibility.
Those things, So I think they got a lot on their plate. And I think that, you know, maybe the NCAA may at some point bring this down a peg or two, like start regulating some things, because right now it's truly the Wild Wild West. We just don't, we can move forward however we want. Like, you know, you got people signing with marketing teams, you got, you know, money's being advanced and things like that. So, I mean, until the NCAA says no, I think you'll get more stories out like that.
I'd imagine that you probably had April of 2022 pegged as the day that you would lose the status as the man or the person with the biggest bank account in the Stingley household. Have you lost that status? Have you lost that status a little earlier than you expected?
Not yet. I'm still holding on to that.
Holding tight.
And it's weird that him and we were together, and we somewhat
you buying. You're buying.
Let's get back to walk-ons.
We had a conversation almost like that yesterday where we were laughing and joking, and I was like, geez, son, I said, man, when I was 20, I don't know what I had in my bank account.
What I had in my pockets.
I know. I think I was still asking my dad for money. I said, you're on a little different level right now.
Yeah. Is he ready for that?
Oh, yeah, he's good.
I know that you wouldn't allow him not to be prepared for that, but even outside of your reach and your talks, I mean, is he prepared for that? I mean, Coach, it's 20 years old. I would call and check my bank account probably 15, 20 times a day if I had that type of scratch, if I just had that type of access to it.
He's not that type of kid or a young man that is go out there and just splurge and just have this impulse of getting whatever he said it yesterday. He was like, Dad, money is money. He said, but, I treat it just like I treat anything else. He was like, just back in the day, like when, I used to give him little Walmart cards to go out and buy things and kind of understand the value of money. And then it went from a Walmart card to we got him a bank account. It was a debit card to where, now we would give him allowance and he would know how to deal with it. To where now, he has some good money in his bank account and he doesn't go all crazy. Like if he would go on a trip, like we were just out in California, he's never really been out there before. So he went to some of the stores and saw some things he liked. He spent probably more money than he's ever spent before, but you're in California. It's some good quality stuff. So. But I called him. I said, all right now. I said, you spending a lot of money.
I'm watching this too.
And I'm worried because I'm like, okay, if you're spending that much money, you need to go buy yourself another bag to put that stuff in and get it back on the plane. Right. And he was like, Dad, it's not that, I didn't buy that much. I said, what did you buy? And it was like 3 items. And I was like, what? He was like, I'm in Melrose. It's Hollywood or Beverly Hills, wherever it was.
That's so cool.
I said, that's crazy, dude. I said, ain't no way I would spend that kind of money on anything.
Did y'all drive by the Rose Bowl?
No. We were out there. He was a camp counselor for the Nike Open, and I just went out there just to hang out. I wound up hanging with Jeff Martin that used to work over at LSU.
Now USC.
And just met some other friends or met up with some other friends out there just to be there. But I didn't go by the Rose Bowl. No.
How cool was that experience? How cool is it now for him to be coming back and getting he's always been thought of as the number one recruit, but now I think he's thought of as the number one player in college football. What is the feeling now of this offseason with him?
Well, he's really more confident than ever. Like, I think
I feel that. And just looking at his social media,
he is so
you can
ready
feel
for
that.
this year.
Yeah, you can feel that.
You know, he was like, you know, last year, naturally, you had a lot from the injuries, and then even the start of the season with the pandemic. Are we playing? Are we not playing? The SEC changing the schedule. You know, this team doesn't play because of COVID. You know, so it was a little, you know, mentally for him to really stay dialed in. It's like, I'm ready, but then, oh, we're not playing, or are we playing? Like, I remember during training camp, he would ask me, because he always thought that I just knew it all.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Dad, are we playing this year?
Yeah.
Are we playing? I was like, from what I'm hearing, yeah, but, you know, there's a chance we may not. You know, I'm hearing something about if by this time and date, there's a chance that no one will be playing. But then that time went by, and then we were playing, and he was like, oh, we're playing? Okay, well, all right. Yeah. So it's like you're up, you're down, up, down, up, down. But now he's kind of like, he's laser focused. You know, he's doing more, like paying attention to the things that he know that he may need to work on a little bit more. He's bigger and stronger. Like, if you see him, it's like,
I've just seen him in pictures.
It's
you can
different
see
level big. Like
his neck. I mean, it's just features that look like just make him bigger. He's always been yoked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's just features on him that make him look like, damn, he's gained 10 to 12
no
pounds.
Doubt. Well, no, it looks that way, but he's still 195. We were out there in California, and I was with the corner from Florida, his dad, Kyer Elam. I was with his dad, Abe Elam. And we were on the side just talking, and one of Abe's friends came up who played with him when they were with the Jets. And we were talking about, you know, our boys. They was out there working out. Mo Wells was giving them a little workout. And the guy was like, well, which one is your son? I said, well, that's my kid right there. He was like, wait, he's a corner? He was like, good Lord.
Yeah.
You know, because this guy played safety in the NFL, and he was a big 6'3", you know, good-sized guy. And he was like, he looks bigger than me.
Right.
So Derek gets that a lot. When people see him up close in person, they were like, wow, you know, I didn't realize that you were that big, that tall, that you know, in that stature. And I was at one of the practices, and what's his name, brother? Number 2 on our team.
Reed Gilbert?
No, the receiver.
Coy Moore.
Coy Moore, yeah. His brother, him and I, we were on the sideline, and we were watching the practice. This was before, you know, the break and all that. And he was like, man, he says, Sting look like he's the biggest one out there. But we're looking at the linebackers, we're looking at the safeties, and then bam, there's Sting. It's like he's just this stature.
Specimen.
Yeah, and I'm looking like, oh wow. But he's moving fast, he's moving all that. It's not like he's not big to where it's like, oh man, you done put on some weight, you look a little sorry, you look sluggish. No, it's just he's
filling out. I mean, he's getting older.
Yeah.
You right way to ask this question, because I want to set it up right. I would call you during his freshman year. Did you see that? Yeah, he's all right. He was all right. He was all right. We're like, well, he shut him down. When he's got the mentality and the confidence that he has right now, what are your expectations for him?
I'm still somewhat of that coach in the stands. Just, you can have all the confidence in the world, but you got to play with good technique. And I'm watching that more than anything. I think he's going to do those things. He's going to be like super prepared, understanding that this could very well be his last year and his year to really prove and separate himself, possibly in the draft in some form or fashion. But, you know, I know football. You know, you can be great for 10 games, and you can have one bad game that can just wipe you out, just about.
Yeah. What's the emphasis for you this summer on him when he's feeling like that?
Well, I mean, hopefully you don't have any bad games.
Yeah.
Just still, it's play by play. You know, just stay ready, because he knew from last year he would get these exotic routes combinations, or these hitch and goes, out and ups to a post, you know, something that you don't prepare for as a DB. And, you know, he had to deal with that, saying, you know, why don't I just get the regular post slant the go or a hitch.
Because you'll pick six it.
Why everything?
Because he's not open.
Why everything got to be so smoke and mirrors against me? And then now this year he understands that stuff like that can actually, come his way. So you can't just be so aggressive to where you see the one route and you want to attack it, but now it's a double move route, and now they're creating some form of separation. Because for the opponents, if you catch a pass over Stingley and now even Ricks, it's going to be like
an accomplishment.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we got confidence that we can probably catch balls against these boys, and we're going to throw at them a little bit more.
I keep thinking that.
Yeah, no, it's going to be tough. I can tell you that with them two on the corner.
What do you think about this scheme, this personnel? To me, this defense feels like they are a bunch of caged animals right now.
I love Coach Jones. The way he kind of.
I saw y'all interacting at camp. I mean, it seems like y'all have a good vibe.
Yeah, I mean, he's a real good dude, man. He's approachable. He's one of those guys where he loves to talk football. He's a football guy as well. But he's good for Derek because he just left the NFL.
Yeah.
So he knows what the coaches are looking for, what the scouts are looking for. He's always talking to Derek, explaining to him about, how they break down a player. Even the top recruit, like how they broke down Jeff Okudah. And, he was the 3rd overall pick, but look at his cons. He showed him this list of things that was this long.
Wow.
But he had, his pros were good just as well.
Yeah.
But it's like you're never going to be that perfect guy. So you can strive for it, but even if you have a bad game or a bad play here or there, it's not the end of the world because the NFL is always looking for potential. But I think with Coach Jones, the way he coaches and how he communicates and keeping things, you got your athletes, but then you're making it simple enough to where they're running around, they're playing with their hair on fire.
Confidence and speed.
And you hear them out there communicating through the checks. It's not just, this guy motions, now smoke is coming out of everybody's ears. Like, what do we do? Now it's more so like, hey, this guy goes, move, bump, you got that, hey, change it, whatever. This guy comes back, it won't confuse him as much as, last year was just a little bad year when it came to some play calling, I guess.
And you like the personnel on this team, don't you?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I truly think the defense is going to be much improved from last year. In my opinion, the offense won't skip a beat. I thought the offense played great last year.
Yeah.
We just didn't help them enough on defense. But yeah, we just got to wait and see who the quarterback is going to be, I guess. But outside of that, I think that this team is going to have a chance, a real good chance of being in the playoffs.
How does your world work every day when people are? Do you know what you're going to do next year at this time? Do you know kind of where you will be? Do you have that stuff figured out, or do you continue to go through that process?
Well, yeah, because number one, we really don't know where he's going to be. Naturally, because of the draft.
Sure.
Everybody, they have all these mocks and all this and that, but you go back in history and look at these mocks, most of the times the number 1 pick is the only one that they get right, maybe sometimes number 2. Then after that, it's just whoever needs what, right? Mm. So, if all things goes accordingly, maybe Derek could be a top 3, top 5 pick. So, naturally, we know that those teams probably won't be the best teams unless the team just truly trade up and just want a top corner or something like that. But we're just looking, for him to.
And I didn't mean destination. I meant more on the overall process of what you're going through, and I'd imagine that you are so in demand.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I feel like that world, you are just sitting in the teeth of the demand period.
It is. It's almost like the recruitment process all over again. But at first it was just colleges and position coaches and some head coaches. Now it's like
corporations.
Yeah, financial advisors, marketing agents. Now, of course, then you still got the agents you're dealing with that we're interviewing, that we're talking to, and it's just making the world just like, I got calendars, I got notes, I'm taking.
I'm sure you look
down.
up and it's 9:00 at night.
Well, but the way I do it, I'm still in control of it. So, sometimes I'll say, hey, I'll get back to you tomorrow, or it may be another day or two. I still like to give people their time. You know, I like to be more so upfront with them, so no one is going to be like, oh, wait, you said this. No. This is how we're handling things. But, no, I mean, with that, yeah, we're in demand. Derek is in demand, but Derek, he always funnels it all to me. And that's what I told him to do. I said, with anything, you know, even if someone comes up to you and just, hey, man, I would like your time, you know, can you do this or that? And the first thing he says is, you know, talk to my dad. You know, just talk with him. Because Derek is already, you know, but he's getting better. He's a whole lot better at speaking. But he's still somewhat reserved.
He's just a shy guy, man.
Yeah, he's reserved. Yeah. So it's like, he don't mind doing it, but he'll be like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
You know, if my dad says okay, I think I'll do it. But then the first thing he'll say is, Dad, just don't make it so early in the morning. Because that boy does not like. Remember the very first interview you did with him? He was like, wake up, boy.
SEC Media Days next week. I don't know if they've made the announcement or what's going on. I don't know if they're taking him, but I mean, this is. I think that first interview we had with him, we said 3 years from now you'll be in Birmingham at SEC Media Days. But
I would think that they would take him. So.
Me too. What about you, Elite Football Academy? I see just everything,
man.
And
you
all
know
the
what?
training.
I've been doing a lot of traveling, so for me, it's this last month, June, and a little bit going July. I've been in and out, so it's been busy still.
Yeah.
My first day back actually was the day before yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the gym. So that's, and I hadn't been there probably since maybe early June.
Wow. Just
dealing with a lot of, you know, business travel, personal stuff like that. So, but, you know, things are busy. We got camps coming up. We were trying to get, I was trying to do like a sports day camp, a football day camp for kids from ages from like 6 up until maybe 14, 15, you know, for some of the parents who probably was looking for some daycare.
Like a babysitter.
So to speak. Yeah, basically. Yeah. But unfortunately, with me doing all the traveling, trying to put that in place, and then other guys I was going to have doing it, he was somewhat running a little football group, football organization he runs, a 7-on-17. He got a little busy. So that was something that we were really looking forward into doing. But, you know, I think Hester and them, they're doing some camps and things like that. I know Christian Lockefer, he's over there. He's doing some stuff as well, some camps. So, you know, it's still busy. We're still got a lot of people coming through the doors, which is a good thing. So people know about us.
Saturday, July 17th at Central High School, Jacob Hester and Elite Football Academy are putting on a 8 to noon football camp at Central High School. You can learn about it online at Elite FBLA. That's their social media. Elite FBLA is where you can find it. I'm looking at their Twitter account right now, and the first post is about Hester's training camp or camp coming up here on Saturday, July 17th.
And Hester does good with those camps. I mean,
he does.
Yeah,
he does. He's very much in his element.
Oh, no doubt.
Out there on the field. Yeah. Thank you for always allowing us the access and bringing us in, bro. Man, I'm grateful for that. You don't have to do this, and I know that you're very busy, and I appreciate you scratching out 45 minutes for us here this morning on answering all of our questions. Yeah. Send our best to the boy, and we'll see and talk to you again soon. Thank you.
I got to get you to 7.
Yes, please. Yeah. Are the days of free autographs over? I'm just asking from I know for the kids, you know, I mean, the kids walk up, but just, I'm not even talking about from Stingley Jr.
Came up.
I'm
this
not talking about Stingley. I'm just talking about all in all.
It could possibly be, but, you know, I told Derek something that he could probably do to still value his signature when he gets to the NFL.
Sure.
We're going to change his signature right now.
Right. Yeah.
We're gonna have a college signature in the NFL.
So. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's the type. I mean, you got to be prepared for those moments, man. Yeah. I mean, and that's what you get when you got the old man behind the scenes.
He's just sitting at the desk, just practicing.
Well, we're probably gonna go with like initials for.
Oh, he's gonna have to sign so many things.
And then when he gets to the NFL, it'll be his complete name.
DS Jr. 7.
Maybe.
Right. Good to see you, bro.
All right, brother.
All right, Coach. My man. Derek Stingley Sr. here with us for a couple of minutes.